A few weeks ago, someone sent me this file archive with a set of text documents from 2015 and apparently a 2.3 gigabyte PNG image. Inside this archive was a readme that said, "I found this. I can't hold it. I don't want it. What happened to her is happening to me. I looked too hard. This is all of it. Everything I found. Don't make the same mistake. Don't look." This creeped me out. At first, my gut feeling was that this was an abysmal, trash-tier ARG puzzle written by some guy, but as I dug deeper, I found that these files were actually hiding one of the most unsettling stories I have ever seen. The first thing I noticed, the name of the archive is a series of ones and zeros, in what seems to be binary code. This is what it says after I put it into a binary translator. Don't. Wow. That is scary. The files inside this archive are sorted into two folders, blog and Clara's files. Reading blogpost1.txt and blogpost2.txt gives us an idea of what's going on. Title: Where is my sister? My name is Alex. My sister Clara has been missing for 3 weeks. The police filed a report. They won't do anything. They think she's a runaway. She is not. She wouldn't leave without her cat. She wouldn't leave me. I have her laptop. I'm going through her files trying to find anything. She was a vlogger, kept a video diary. I'm going to post what I find here. I'm not a tech guy, so this might be messy. Please, if you see anything, a name, a place, anything I'm missing, please tell me. I just want to find my sister. Title: The first video file. Okay, I found the first one. The file is viddiaryday01.mp4. It's normal. She seems happy. It makes this whole thing harder. I tried to upload it to YouTube, but it kept failing. It said, processing error. It's just the normal MP4 file, I don't get it. I'm just going to type out what she said. The file is attached. We can't say for sure what's happening at this point, but it's clear that so far, Alex is trying to find clues about his missing sister, and has been writing everything down. If we assume that these text files were written soon after Alex completed his blog posts, then we can look at the modification date of the first text file to get some more information. If Alex's sister, Clara, has been missing for 3 weeks, then she has likely not been seen since early October 2015, or even before that. So, what we have here is a digital paper trail from Alex's investigation, and the folder called Clara's Files should be an important collection of information from Clara's laptop. But why are there only 7 blog posts? There should be more than that. And what did Alex find? Here is the first video diary that Clara recorded. Alex's note: "This is the transcript for the first video. She seems so happy." Transcript begins. Clara is in her well-lit bedroom, smiling, energetic. Video diary, day 1. So, I found the weirdest thing online. It was buried in this old digital art forum from like the 90s. It's, I don't even know, a video? A visualizer? It's called The Quiet, and it's beautiful. I watched it this morning, and it's like my brain just stopped. All the noise, all the anxiety, just quiet. She laughs. I know, it sounds lame, but it was this amazing feeling. Total peace. I'm definitely going to watch it again tomorrow. Anyway, that's all. Just wanted to log it. Transcript ends. Clara's first diary entry is harmless enough. She found a cool video on the internet and seems to be perfectly fine at the time of recording. Let's continue with blogpost3.txt. Title: Junk Files and Brain Fog. Still nothing. Her laptop is full of junk. Corrupted files, empty folders, file names that are just gibberish. I found this .txt file in her recycle bin. It's just random letters. Looks like a file that didn't save right. This is probably useless, but I'm posting everything. She mentions brain fog in the next video. I'm seeing that now in her files. It feels familiar. I've been staring at this screen so long, I feel like my own head's full of cotton. Something strange is happening. Looking through the second folder, we can see one file that was last modified on October 3rd, which is most likely the junk text file that Alex found on his sister's laptop. Upon opening the file, we see this. A bunch of random letters and numbers, or some kind of code. I put it into ChatGPT for analysis, and it turns out to be base 64 encoded text. When decoded, it says, "I can't remember what it was called. It's hiding itself. The word is gone." Unfortunately, this opens up more questions than it solves. Who wrote this file? Is it related to Clara's disappearance? I believe we're getting closer to the answer. In the next video transcript, we begin to see Clara deviating from her normal behavior. In other words, she starts to act very oddly. Title: Video Diary 2. She seems off. This one is from 2 days after the first. File vid diary day03.mp4. She's not smiling. She looks tired. The video file is weird. It plays, but the audio is full of static. Not normal static, it's like digital static, really loud and sharp. I had to rip the audio and clean it up just to understand what she was saying. Even then, some words are just gone. Wiped. I'm typing up the transcript. Alex's note. Transcript for video 2. I've marked where the audio cuts out. Transcript begins. Clara is in her room. The curtains are drawn. She's whispering. Day 3. I lost my train of thought. She forces a laugh. Brain fog. I've been so forgetful. I keep losing my keys, my phone. I'll walk into the kitchen and just stand there. Can't remember why I went in. In the video, the one from the other day, the quiet. I tried to show my friend Sarah, but I couldn't find the link. I can't even remember the name of the forum I found it on. How weird is that? I just remember the feeling. That feeling of... I wanted to tell Sarah how it made me feel, but I couldn't find the word. It's like the word is just gone from my head. I'm probably just tired. I'll watch it again. Maybe it'll clear my head. Transcript ends. This is completely different from how Clara was speaking in her first diary entry. Going off what we see here, the quiet is probably a cursed video that causes memory loss and also killed Clara. Case closed. I don't think it's that easy though, and it certainly doesn't explain what happens to Alex in his final blog post. The 5th and 6th posts by Alex are more of the same. He looks through a few more of Clara's files and finds a password-locked document called Do Not Delete. Alex writes, She was always into puzzles as a kid. We used to make our own ciphers. This looks like one of hers. Why would she be writing in code? In her own journal. It feels wrong to post this. Like I'm reading something I shouldn't. But it's the first real clue. She was scared. She was hiding something. In post 6, Alex finds Clara's final video diary entry from, quote, the night before she disappeared. On opening Alex's final blog post, we see this. Title, I see it. The symbol, it fits. Everything. I see the pattern. I shouldn't have looked. I can't remember my sister's name. Stop looking. Stop. There's no further communication from Alex. His last post is dated November 6th, with nothing else after that in the archive. It's not a stretch to say what happened to Clara also happened to him. There are 3 files from Clara's laptop that we have not looked at yet. The first is the suspicious 2.3 gigabyte image file, which seems to be corrupted and can't be opened. The second is the file called Do Not Delete, which Alex talked about in his 5th blog post. This is what we see inside. Alex's note. This is the content of the locked file. It knows I'm writing. I have to hide it. I have to use the old ways. Key is the feeling it gives. I'm not good with ciphers, but it looks like there are 3 different blocks of text here with 3 different messages. I have no idea what the first block of text is. The middle one is in plain English and probably has a hint. The third block has a few repeating words, such as will a and RGH, and it has punctuation consistent with regular English, so it's probably a substitution cipher, where each letter has been replaced with a different one in the alphabet. RGH appears multiple times in the code, and the only English words I can think of that have 2 letters followed by an apostrophe and a third letter are contractions, such as weed, heed, he's, its, and itted. Since R also appears at the beginning of 3 separate phrases, we can assume that R is a substitution for I. So RG is a substitution for it. I got stuck here, so I asked AI for help, and this is what it decrypts to. The symbol, I drew it. It's in my sketchbook. I couldn't stop. It wants to be seen. It's a door. I am the door. GPT also immediately decrypted the first message. It is editing me. Every time I try to write about it, the words vanish. I have to hide the thoughts. The symbol is the container. The symbol is the key. Don't look at the symbol. We have almost all of the pieces of the puzzle. The only file we have not looked at is the final video diary transcript. Or is there more? After looking closely at the archive, we can see that there is another hidden text file. Alex's note. This isn't a video. It was embedded in the MP4 file. I had to use a program to extract it. It's an image file. My computer, it freezes when I try to open it. I can only see the thumbnail. It's a symbol. Black and white, like a maze or a circuit. I'm uploading the image here and attaching the file properties. There was a comment in the metadata. It's more code. At the end, we are given a comment written in some very familiar code. It's base 64, which we have already seen once before in the junk file. Let's decode it. A blessing. You who have found me, you are now the vessel. Once we open Clara's final video diary entry, we are greeted with a note from Alex. Alex's note. This is the last file in the diary. It was filmed 9 days after the first one, the night before she disappeared. I can't share the video. I don't know how to describe it. The file is small, just a few kilobytes, but it plays. The video quality is perfect, too perfect. This is what she said. I typed it out word for word. We've been given some rather cryptic and vague messages. After reading everything, we know that there is obviously something after Clara, since she repeatedly mentions it, perhaps an entity, and whatever got Clara is also behind Alex's jumbled final message. So, before we look at the last video diary, I'm going to backtrack through everything we've read, because I believe that we already have all of the information we need to piece together exactly what happened to Clara and to Alex. First of all, let's put together a timeline of events. At the beginning of October, Clara goes missing. Sometime before that, let's say in late September, she discovers a video called The Quiet. This video has some unknown effect on her mind. Symptoms include brain fog and memory loss. Soon after, she draws a mysterious symbol in her sketchbook, which I assume is somehow related to the video. She explicitly tells us that it is some sort of container and a key, while warning us to not look at the symbol. Over the following days, she leaves behind several video recordings and encrypted notes about what she's experiencing. Clara mentions it multiple times in her encrypted messages. It wants to be seen. It is editing me. One day after Clara's final video recording, she vanishes. The police are notified but are unable to help. 3 weeks later, on October 31st, Alex decides to take the search for his sister into his own hands. He is able to retrace Clara's steps and write down 6 blog posts before finding a strange symbol embedded in Clara's final video recording, which we can assume to be the same one that Clara drew. He extracts the image of the symbol, which is the 2.3 gigabyte PNG file that we currently have in the archive and are unable to open. After seeing the symbol, something happens to Alex and he disappears. 4 months later, on March 15th, an unknown third party compiles all of these files and adds a cryptic comment explaining that whatever happened to Clara and Alex is also happening to them. But what? What happened? Erasure. They got erased. When Clara discovered that video, some entity inside the video escaped and latched onto her brain. This entity ate away at her thoughts, leading to brain fog and memory loss. Slowly, it also began to eat her and everything around her. According to Clara's encoded message, it is editing me. Every time I try to write about it, the words vanish. I have to hide the thoughts. Why would she need to hide her writing? It's because the entity is specifically targeting and destroying information about itself. If information about itself is in video form, then the video gets eaten. For example, in Clara's second video transcript, she says, "And the video, the one from the other day, The Quiet. I tried to show my friend Sarah, but I couldn't find the link. I can't even remember the name of the forum I found it on. How weird is that? I just remember the feeling." The entity had already eaten the original video, and now it's spreading like a virus to everyone who was unfortunate enough to see it. What happens when that entity ends up inside a human mind? It latches onto them. The memories are eaten, and finally, once enough of a person has been eaten, they are completely erased. This is what happened to Clara and Alex, but that's not the end. There are still several questions left, as well as a massive contradiction. Why doesn't the entity eat everything? If the entity destroys information about itself, why is any of this still readable? What's in the final video diary? And most importantly, what is the symbol? Clara never mentions it being from the original video. What did she say? Let's look closely. The symbol, I drew it. It's in my sketchbook. I couldn't stop. It wants to be seen. In this message, Clara mentions it 3 times. The first 2 times she uses it, she's clearly referring to the symbol. I drew the symbol. The symbol is in my sketchbook. But then we get to the second line. It wants to be seen. What does it refer to here? The symbol wants to be seen doesn't make any sense. A symbol is just that, a picture, or in this case, a drawing. How could a picture want something? So here's what I think. Clara isn't talking about the symbol here. She's talking about the entity. The entity wants to be seen. That's why these text documents were left behind, like a trail of breadcrumbs. The entity didn't fail to erase everything. Instead, it chose not to. Once the entity entered Clara's mind, it took control of her body and forced her to do 2 things before it erased her. First, it couldn't spread if it destroyed all of its hosts, so it needed something more permanent. Clara gave it a physical body in the form of a symbol, the perfect container for this entity, something that can be copied, shared, and buried inside infinite human minds. Then, it set the trap. It left behind a trail of evidence, every note, every transcript. Bait, designed to guide anyone curious enough straight to itself. And we followed it.